Testing, testing, testing.
Test, test.
Each say.
Where do you have those? So Monique has mine. She got
Okay, so Monique has yours and he has his. So we'll do that the same way that we do the other. I just literally take a step back and I just say tie, and then he'll share his, and then you do yours. All right, then you do yours, and he does. You don't want to be upstaged.
Yes. Okay.
Where are the men? 1, 2. Oh, here we are. Let's go. All right, we're going. I'm not sure how to do this with the mic, so I never work with a microphone. Nope. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you guys going to stand in relation to it? Thinking. That way you guys can still be here.
You want us to be here?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because people come here to see you, not a big black microphone. So.
You can always scream. Instead of
Well, I might do that for my part, but I know that, for the video streaming, and my mom wanted me to be heard, so. Where is the video streaming coming from?
right in front of us. Like right behind us.
Okay. Your mother's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just scoot towards the end. Not too far away, that we like you.
My buddies. Yeah.
Step up so you can see her come down the aisle. Go ahead. Go hug Mama. We're gonna fix your dress, okay? Yeah, not you, silly. You're made of honor.
You want to give
All
you
right,
a
just
bouquet to Stacy?
perfect. Welcome, everyone. We are gathered here today in the presence of God and loved ones to celebrate one of life's greatest moments, to give recognition to the worth and the beauty of love, and to share our best wishes in the union of Taisei and Julie. They come together today to share their joy and their laughter, to include us in the experience that has been their love, and to claim their future together with open hearts. And we gather to share happiness with them and for them, and to support them in the life they will now commit to live together forevermore. This is a day where we pay tribute to the joyful togetherness of these two people who will, through mere outward expression, attempt to honorably represent their incredible innermost union of hearts. It is a day to celebrate their deeply dedicated friendship, to honor their family ties, to rejoice in their families coming together, and to reaffirm faith and love in every way that it is felt. In the spirit of welcome, our couple would like to recognize Ty's godfather, Gerald Bakhtavar, and Julie's extended family in Israel. They could not travel to be with them today on this special occasion, but their well wishes are certainly appreciated and felt from afar. Who gives this woman to be married to this man?
My wife and I do.
Thank you. Please be seated. Close enough. Now, marriage is an eternal pledge in a world where there is not always complete certainty. It is a joyful day, yet one that encourages reminiscence for those we have had the privilege of knowing, whom we've cared about and loved very deeply, but whom we have lost. As we ceremoniously celebrate love with a wedding, we are connecting by right with those among us while singing the song of those we have had to let go to another place. Our couple has asked for a moment to welcome the memory of loved ones who have passed. Ty's surrogate father, second father, I'm probably going to butcher this, but I'm going to give it a shot. Haruo Mayanami, and his grandmother, Shizu Najima, and Julie's grandfathers, Harry Maslin, Louis Ferro, and Julian Zimmerman. Much easier to say. Even though they could not be physically with us today, they join our celebration in a genuine and gentle spirit, for this is an occasion they surely would never miss. Let's talk about love. Now, for some lucky couples, the course of their relationship reveals itself quite naturally, predictably, and without too extraordinary an effort. Despite some minor issues of opportunity and timing, their coming together is what many would describe as a fateful experience, the discovery of something meant to be. Two total strangers become acquainted through chance encounter, a spark ignites, opportunities present that would have our couple together. There is this gaining momentum where somehow and in some way, whatever needs to happen happens, and then everything unfolds just the way that it should. Now, there are many who would say that finding your soulmate may not always be achieved by traveling down one of life's neatly prescribed little paths. That as wonderful and instantaneously love's first spark may strike, there are sure to be a few bumps in the road, rocks along the way, or sometimes even a boulder or two to navigate around on the path of a promise made forever. True love, and that which is worth having, takes some effort and sacrifice, persistence and patience, and most importantly, an unwavering faith. Because the circumstances and the timing for having everything come together for two people is not always as tidy as we would dream them up to be. Well, at the very least, it can certainly be said that love is most dynamic and remarkable and diverse. There really is no one approach that diminishes any other, no one method more relevant to a couple's mutual coexistence, and no one predictor of success in their future together. For regardless of how two people get there, we can be sure that a couple will have experienced one of the greatest adventures of their lives together along the way. And so there is Ty and Julie and the journey that they have taken together over the last 10 years. Now, a few months ago, actually it was almost a year ago, I had an opportunity to sit with our couple and talk about their relationship as it developed in preparation for creating this wedding ceremony. Now, while I found myself completely entertained by all of the details of their love story, I also knew instantly that it would not fit tidily into either category, the aforementioned, for finding one's soulmate.
On the contrary, theirs was a nice mix of both. A truly fateful arrangement, sparky and instantaneous, but one that met with a few stony paths along the way and included a healthy dose of patience and unwavering faith for good measure, as you'll all see when I retell their story, just as it had been told to me. So we start with two total strangers become acquainted through chance encounter. Now, spring has always been a favorite time of year for Johns Hopkins University students. Cherry blossoms burst everywhere from Baltimore to D.C. The rigorous academic year winds down, and the lazier days of summer are right around the corner. In the midst of it all, there is spring fraternity pledging and the many events that surround it. Now, in this case, and during the spring of 2004, we find Ty and Julie in a get-to-know-you room at the very first pledge event for the community service fraternity Alpha Phi Omega. Julie was a freshman and a neuroscience major who enjoyed her first year on campus and was looking forward to becoming even further involved in the community surrounding her, to spending some quality time with her friends in the process, and to making a difference in the lives of others. She made her way through that get-to-know-you room that day, introducing herself and making the best of a slightly awkward social situation. Ty was a sophomore and also a neuroscience major. It would seem a good place to start in terms of having something so important in common with each other. But Ty was busy working the room in a very different way that day. Being the person that he is, in Julie's words, and I'm going to quote her now, obnoxious, loud with his buddies, and in the center of everything. Yeah, you can laugh, it's funny. Ty and Julie did meet and introduce themselves at one point, but that's as far as their earliest connection went. 6 hours later, after doing all that they could do to become acquainted with everyone in the room, pledge candidates were tasked to elect a governing body. Wouldn't you know, Julie was elected president, and Ty, vice president. It would seem that they would be working together to plan events for the entire semester. Great. A spark ignites. So let's just cut to the chase. Julie didn't like Ty very much at all. They were forced to work with one another given the circumstances, and she couldn't even say that she looked forward to the couple of dinners that they had shared while doing what needed to be done for the fraternity. It wasn't until much closer to summer, after spending more time and realizing that they actually did work very well together, that our couple formed something more akin to friendship. After a long summer then apart, with Ty home in LA and Julie home in New Jersey, they returned to campus as pledge masters for the next class coming into Alpha Phi Omega. No longer forced to work together, they were now full-fledged friends with an undertone of something else brewing. Ty did not make any grand declarations to Julie, but he was more obvious about his feelings, not surprisingly, while Julie carefully weighed her options, sensing Ty's mad crush on her, but keeping him at a friendship's arm's length distance away. They went a lot to plan fraternity events, of course, and they went out as friends. So sometime in the spring of that year, now this is 2005, they stepped up their shared game and planned dinner at Gertrude's, a much fancier venue at the Baltimore Museum of Art. Julie, still wondering whether or not their friendship should move to an advanced romantic level, detectably and admittedly swooned when Ty ordered them a cappuccino to share at the end of their meal. She found the notion incredibly romantic and sophisticated, especially since she had never had a cappuccino before. Now, Julie was most definitely convinced she was in love at this point. Even so, nothing else romantic happened that evening. Opportunities present that would have them together. Opportunities that traveled on some decently rocky paths. So the end of another school year and the ensuing summer had them both out of sight, out of mind, for the most part. Ty was back in LA and absolutely thinking about Julie, actually. And Julie was working at a sleepaway camp in Pennsylvania and trying not to think about Ty. She hadn't yet convinced herself that it was worth the risk and the ensuing complications to their friendship to avow those romantic feelings, even though she was certain they were feeling exactly the same way. As Ty's senior year was approaching, and he would begin to apply to medical schools and then move on, the last thing she wanted to do was complicate anything. So they were back at school for less than a few days when they attended a party together, again, as friends. And later found themselves leaving to walk home over the lacrosse field where they would break off to say goodbye and go their respective ways. Yet instead of wishing Julie good night, Ty took advantage of a heartbeat's hesitation in her, and without further warning, leaned in for a kiss that she in no way backed off from. Yeah. Sparks did fly for a minute, and they broke off from their kiss in another, and then they just both kept walking on home. But when Julie got back to her apartment, she promptly called her friend and bridesmaid, Monique, and reported that it was, and I'm going to quote her again now, the best kiss of her life. Surely a decidedly romantic notion, even if she was only 20 years old at the time. Now, by October 25th, the date they officially decided they would date each other exclusively, all the posturing about friendship turned relationship was over, only to be replaced by other concerns Julie began to develop for their future compatibility. That winter, Ty got accepted to medical school at Case Western in Ohio, and Julie would spend another year at Johns Hopkins to finish her undergrad. It was unclear if they would survive a long-distance relationship since they hadn't been dating very long. Further, literally and figuratively, Ty was from California, and she was from New Jersey, about as far apart geographically as can be while still in the United States of America. Her future and where she would attend medical school was also undecided and an additional geographic challenge to mitigate. And, well, he wasn't Jewish. Look at it. There were endless reasons she could find why it couldn't work. And in fact, Julie was partially right. That first year apart, they did what they had to see each other, but only after they set a precedent for their commitment, when about a month in, they got into a huge fight over the phone and considered calling it quits. Ty hopped into a car with the express intent of putting things right between them, and 6 hours later arrived at Julie's and did just that. It didn't take a brain surgeon, Ty's specialty area at the time, to figure it out. With distance between them, the extra effort to see one another would always prove beneficial. Even the strongest relationships require nurturing. There is a gaining momentum. So as Ty began his third year of medical school, Julie began her first. She attended Robert Wood Johnson Medical School beginning in the fall of 2008 and knew going in that she would specialize in pediatrics. Ty had switched his specialty once he discovered that cardiology and the potential for instantly remediating someone's heart problems suited him much better than standing around for 12 hours at a time doing brain surgery on a patient who may not come out of the procedure any smarter than when they went in. So between them, there would be only one hurdle left, and it would present itself as Ty considered options for what would come next, his residency. They didn't want to be apart anymore. Julie would be in Pennsylvania for the next 2 years. Ty had to be in Pennsylvania too. So the hospital at the University of Pennsylvania had one of the best programs within a reasonable travel distance from where Julie was attending medical school. And as luck wouldn't have it, the program was so competitive that even scoring an interview with them was a much coveted event. So when Ty found out that he had indeed been invited to interview, he promptly made his flight arrangements and carefully marked the date on his calendar. He called his mother to share the news, who in turn also made note of his interview date on her calendar, because that's what moms do. Now, the big day arrived shortly thereafter, and it looked as if the moon and the stars might align just perfectly, but not as you might expect. You see, Ty was sitting in a sandwich joint with his friend and groomsman Scott when his mom called him to check on his status heading to the airport. Ty's heart skipped a beat when he heard her question. Wasn't he scheduled to fly out for his interview today? No. Maybe. Yes. Ty had scheduled the flight for that day, the right day. He realized after talking with his mother, but he had marked it on his calendar wrong on the following day. Ty, he'd already missed his flight. So whatever needs to happen, happens. This is where it gets really good. Okay, so now love can be quite the motivator. If getting into one of the most coveted cardiology residencies wasn't enough, then being within the vicinity of Julie and a real shot of planning a future together was. Ty chucked his lunch, booked home, showered, and changed into a three-piece suit and hopped into the car, heading to Pennsylvania and into one of the biggest snowstorms the Northeast had seen in recent winters. By 4 o'clock, he actually thought he would make it to his 7:30 interview when the highway and the surrounding access roads shut down. At 6 o'clock a.m., mind you, he called the program and flat out lied about why he missed his flight and explained how he was going to be a little late. They must have been impressed by his drive, pun intended, and determination. On the third Friday in March in 2010 at 12 noon, when every medical student opens their fellowship invitations, Ty held his breath and tore open his envelope. He was in. Hard work had gotten him there, but fate sealed the deal. Julie was ecstatic. They had agreed that they might break off their relationship if Ty didn't get into the program at UPenn, but they would never have to consider that conversation again. She would finish medical school, do her residency at the Children's Hospital in Philadelphia, and within the next couple of years, they would be free, although very busy and often unavailable, to plan a wedding and a future together. Everything unfolds just the way that it should. So even if you're not the type of person who has always dreamed about the perfect proposal, there is some expectation about how it's supposed to go. A plot, a surprise of some sort, not necessarily a total surprise, but a surprise, the question, the evidence that it happened, and the follow-up joy and celebration. Julie knew that Ty was going to propose sometime that February 2012, as they had just designed an engagement ring together and were waiting for it to be completed by the jeweler. What Julie didn't know was that on the day they made plans to meet some friends for brunch in Rittenhouse Square, a favorite spot for them and one that held a special place in their hearts, that Ty's friend Anthony would be the one to arrive, the plot, with a bouquet of roses in his hand that said, "Will you marry me?" on them, the surprise, and with camera in hand, because Ty's dad said that when you propose, it's nice to have photos, and this was also the evidence, would then coach Ty. He coached Ty to actually get down on one knee when he asked Julie to spend the rest of her life with him. Now, Julie, she said yes, just as she should have, and right on cue. Good thing Ty thought to take care of everything. All right, Carl. I'm going to have you just take a nice step this way. No, just, yeah, scoot that way. Scoot, stand next to her. Yeah, I know, right? Right here. Good luck, buddy. I'm going to stand next to you just so you get mic'd. All right?
You have known each other for years, through the first glance of acquaintance to this moment of commitment. At some moment, you decided to marry. From that moment of yes to this moment of yes, indeed, you have been making promises and agreements in an informal way. All those conversations that were held, riding in a car or over a meal or during long walks, all those sentences that began with, "when we're married," and continued with, "I will, you will, and we will." Those late night talks that included someday, somehow, and maybe. And all those promises that are unspoken matters of the heart. Just two people working out what they want, what they believe, what they hope for each other. All these common things and more are the real process of a wedding. The symbolic vows that you are about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know all those things we've promised and hoped and dreamed? Well, I meant it all. Every word. Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another. You have learned much from one another in these last few years. You have learned that good company and friendship count for more than good looks.
Even though they're pretty cute, right?
Well, she is, huh? And you've learned that marriage is a maze into which we wander, a maze that is best got through with a great companion. Now you shall say a few words that take you across a threshold of life, and things will never quite be the same between you. For after these vows, you shall say to the world, this is my husband, and this is my wife.
Thank you. Nicely done. You're not a doctor, are you? 'Cause
I'm a lawyer.
that was pretty good. Okay. Like a litigator? Yeah. Tried to make me think you didn't know what you were doing. All right. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right. Taisei and Julie, have you come together today freely and without reservations to commit yourselves each to the other in marriage? Please say together, we have.
We have.
Since it is your intention to do so, please keep your hands joined together as you share your vows. I'm just going to ask a big long question. You just answer, I do.
Okay.
Taisei, do you ask this woman to be your wife, to live together in marriage? Do you promise to love her, comfort her, honor and keep her, in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, be faithful to her for all of the days of your life together?
I do.
And Julie, do you ask this man to be your husband, to live together in marriage? Do you promise to love him, comfort him, honor and keep him, in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, be faithful to him for all of the days of your life together?
I do.
Okay, Taisei, repeat after me and address your bride. I, Taisei, ask you, Julie,
I, Taisei, ask you, Julie,
to be my wedded wife
to be my wedded wife
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
to love and to laugh,
to love and to laugh,
to learn and to share,
to learn and to share,
to appreciate and to know,
to appreciate and to know,
forevermore.
forevermore.
And Julie, you do the same. Repeat after me. I, Julie, ask you, Taisei,
I, Julie, ask you, Taisei,
to be my wedded husband
to be my wedded husband
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better and for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer and for poorer,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
to love and to laugh,
to love and to laugh,
to learn and to share,
to learn and to share,
to appreciate and to know,
to appreciate and to know,
forevermore.
forevermore.
Okay, you may share your personal vows.
I'm going to go first.
Mhm.
Go see her.
Where you going, man?
Just giving your space.
Not done yet.
For almost 10 years, you have been a steady fixture in my life. Despite living apart for 4 years, I always felt your presence, your calm voice, and reason in moments of chaos and frustration. Those 4 years apart proved that regardless of the length of time or distance, we could always pick up where we left off as if nothing had changed. Remarkably, as we have each individually grown over the past decade, our relationship has evolved with us. I can't wait to see where the rest of life takes us, and I'm thrilled to be traveling this journey together. I could not imagine a better life partner. You challenge me, you're always there to catch me when I fall, and you always manage to lift me back up again. For all these reasons and so many more, I will always love you.
So as Deanna has already described, I've been bred in science. So when I was asked to write my own vows, it was difficult for me. So humor me and allow me to just compare our love to the properties of light. So light can be a particle, it can be a wave, it can change speed, direction. Light can be absorbed, penetrated, it can be reflected, it can even scatter. Like light, love can be complicated, it can be fickle, very hard to quantify. But without light, there would be no life, no warmth, no nourishment. And without you, I certainly would not have any direction or purpose. Let's be honest, I probably wouldn't be here in this suit today, right now. So even when the candle flame flickers, and my world is dim, I know that the darkness will only last a moment, and that the sun that is our love will continue to rise, and that in time, during the twilight of our lives together, we'll be able to look back upon the days of our lives and know that it was full of light, laughter, and love.
That was pretty darn good, man. Oh, the rings, please. I got kind of wrapped up in it. Okay. Now, love is not merely something that we feel. It is to be chosen, something to make a stand for, something to lay claim to, and something that I hope will always surround you both. Your rings are a never-ending symbol of the unbroken circle of the love that you share. Love given freely has no beginning and no end, no giver and no receiver, for each is the giver and each is the receiver. May your rings always remind you of the vows you have just spoken here today. All right, so I'm going to have you take her ring first, and you will repeat after me as you put it on her finger. Yep, left. This ring is my gift for you.
This ring is my gift to you,
Symbolizing my desire that you be my wife
that you be my wife
from this day forward.
from this day forward.
With body and soul I honor you.
With body and soul, I honor you.
All that I am I give to you,
All that I am, I give to you.
and all that I have I share with you.
And all that I have, I share with you.
Please accept this ring
Please accept this ring
and wear it as a sign to the world
and wear it as a sign to the world
that you have chosen to be my wife.
that you have chosen to be my wife.
Okay. Nicely done. Okay. We'll do the same. Repeat after me. What's going on over here, too? This ring is my gift for you,
This ring is my gift for you,
symbolizing my desire
symbolizing my desire
that you be my husband
that you be my husband
from this day forward.
from this day forward.
With body and soul I honor you.
With body and soul I honor you.
All that I am I give to you,
All that I am I give to you,
and all that I have I share with you.
and all that I have I share with you.
Please accept this ring
Please accept this ring
and wear it as a sign to the world
and wear it as a sign to the world
that you have chosen to be my husband.
that you have chosen to be my husband.
Okay.
Try not to lose it.
All right, I'm going to go to the back of the table. You guys just kind of go to the front part of it. All right. If you can, get around that microphone. Okay. Now, throughout history, in nearly all cultures and traditions, the sharing of wine has been used as a universal central moment of connection during significant events. For many, it symbolizes the celebration of the harvest, the changing seasons of life, or the ultimate personal sacrifice that others have made on our behalf. Wine is, after all, the result of years of hard work, the tender care of the grape, the thoughtful mix of ingredients, the patient fermenting, and the unique flavors of each and every year. So it is fitting that a couple take their first drink of wine as husband and wife to not only celebrate all that has taken place in their lives to this point, but as an expression of hope and faith in the harvest of their lives, the commitment that they make, and the sacrifice of all those whom have made this moment possible. Ty and Julie share wine from the same glass. And have you pick it up and offer it to her first. Yep, and you take a sip, and then you'll offer it back to Ty. Let the sharing of this wine serve to represent a lifetime of joys that are yet to come, and to also remind you to have faith in what you are building and to celebrate often along the way. All right, go ahead. Nicely done, you guys. All right. Let's really get your mama up here. All right. Mom, you want to come on up? Okay. I'm going to stand right next to you so that you're in the microphone, but I want you to get right up here. Go right up there between them. Okay.
I'm going to read Blessing for a Marriage by James Dillett Freeman. May your marriage bring you all the exquisite excitements a marriage should bring, and may life grant you also patience, tolerance, and understanding. May you always need one another, not so much to fill your emptiness as to help you to know your fullness. So let it be with you and you. May you need one another, but not out of weakness. May you want one another, but not out of lack. May you entice one another, but not compel one another. May you embrace one another, but not encircle one another. May you succeed in all important ways with one another and not fail in the little graces. May you look for things to praise, often say I love you, and take no notice of small faults. If you have quarrels that push you apart, may both of you hope to have good sense enough to take the first step back. May you enter into the mystery which is the awareness of one another's presence, no more physical than spiritual, warm and near when you are side by side, and warm and near when you are in separate rooms or even distant cities. May you have happiness, and may you find it making one another happy. May you have love, and may you find it loving one another.
Thank you. Nicely done. Okay. You want to close this thing out? You
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go party.
Ty and Julie, as the two of you come into this marriage and look toward the future together, I ask that you continue to honor each other as special and unique individuals, that you remain sincere and respect the thoughts, ideas, and suggestions of one another. Indulge each other's hearts, be able to freely give yourselves to one another, and live each day that you may share it together. As from this day forward, you will be each other's home, comfort, and refuge, your marriage continually strengthened by your deep love for the other. Yours is a commitment to be shared with great cheer, but not to be taken too lightly. Give the highest priority to the kindness your marriage deserves. Appreciate the time you have a great privilege to spend together. Take good care of each other and celebrate often that friendship. And when commitment turns to challenge, as we all know it will, from time to time, remember this day, all the promise that it brings, and keep your beginning close to your hearts for all time. And so, for as much as the two of you have consented together in matrimony and have witnessed the same before God in this company of your family and your friends, by the power vested in me by the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, I do pronounce that you are husband and wife. Ty, you may kiss your bride. It's such a tame crowd, right? All right, turn, face your adoring crowd. You might want to get your beautiful flowers back. I'd like to give you Mr. and Mrs. Taisei and Julie Kobayashi. I think I got that right, didn't I? All right, see that? I'm on the flow. Go ahead. You guys come together. Excellent. Gonna be some bro hugging going on. Oh wait, you got one more coming. Congrats, baby. You were so sweet and giggly the whole time. I was like, anytime I wanted to smile, I just looked at you. My cheeks were hurting by the time I was done. It's like, oh.
癖があるからね、この癖が出てくるだけで。
なんか、今日踊らなきゃいけないですよ、多分。相手の。踊らすのはさ、そんな早い踊りで踊るわけないから。
髪の毛もすごくうまくできてて。
写真を持って、髪の切りからっつって、メガネ知らないから、その写真の通りやってもらったらしい。ちょうどいい機会だからね、彼女ほら、踊ったことないですよ。私悪い、自分ばっかり楽しんでます。それで、もうせっかくだからこういう機会だから、3日間連続で触ったんだけど、その最初のステップだけ。最初にだけ、だから、小学校なんだけど、チャッチャとワルツ。あれだ、ワルツじゃない。
じゃあ3日で終わるの？
最初のステップだけ。チャチャチャとそれからルンバと同じようなステップがあるんですよ。インターナショナルとちょうどアメリカンの中間ぐらいの、その先生がたまたま一緒にしてて、チャチャチャと
ワンセット入れたからかな。
そのチャチャチャをしないだけで同じステップでできるね、すごい。
でも今日もちょっとおたれに行ったんだけど、そんなことできるとか、あんまりやんない方がいいと思うよ。私もやりすぎちゃってたんですよ。そしたらもうやめた。だからこれダンス数字よ、もう一番楽なの。それがもうちょっと楽だけど。もっと大会に出ようかなって練習のとこやってたから。
腰が悪いからね、座っていたから。
頑張って。
3ヶ月、4ヶ月ぐらいにコンサート
患者さんいるんだけど見てたんじゃなくて、レポーターとお客様来てたんですか？
そうね、ただだ。去年はね、東京楽団と、それからブロードウェイのミュージカルのスターが来て、で、うちらが60人で、東京楽団も60人で、そのミュージカルのスターが来て、リーガーさん、女性ね、美女と野獣主演を、初代の主演をやった人に来て、サントリーホールの人たちと同じでね、
have you guys stand. Where's my right here? Is this good, Erica? Okay. This camera's not live right now.
Oh, okay.
So I'll give you the thumbs up and then you guys can start talking. Just speak up a little bit. Actually,
Okay.
you know what? Let's do this.
How's that, Mark?
You want to just shove this in your jacket
Oh,
real
yeah,
quick?
sure.
We could just hold it, yeah? Or whichever.
Or just hold it. And you can have this over here.
Yeah, this will probably be better on this side, yeah?
There we go.
Sweet.
What? You want us to be here?
It's
No,
streaming.
we're gonna we'll come to you.
Okay.
We'll come get you in a second. I don't know
Just
if
hold
I
it,
should do.
just hold it, just
I don't know if I should do this in
Good, okay.
Japanese.
Hi, we want to say thank you to everybody who is watching and who's joined with us today. We really appreciate all of your time and hope that you enjoyed watching our ceremony. We're sorry you couldn't be here with us.
I have nothing further to say. My new wife has said everything perfectly. Thank you for thank you for watching and tuning in. That's really
We
all
miss
I
you.
got. We certainly have missed you, and we hope to see you soon.
Yeah. Thank you. Do you guys want to say
Is
anything?
anybody watching from Japan?
Did you send the link?
Yeah,
in?
Yuka sent you
Say something.
Yuka
This is going live.
in Japanese.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go in and look at the room.
Right, and then
It's gonna be in Japanese. Is that cool with you?
Big's over there.
Cool.
We just wanted to-
Nani?
Whatever. You're good. Go for it.
大勢が、結婚しました、お相手はジュリーさんという方で、アメリカの方ですけれども、とっても優しくて、とってもいい方です。またアメリカでも来るときには、彼らをサポートしてやってください。今後もよろしくお願いいたします。
Hi, I'd like to say hello to Shoshana and everybody, Sarah, Chaim, everybody that's in Israel, all of the kids, Zvil, Mihal, Tehila, and if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. We really wish you could be here. I hope you watched, and I hope you thought it was great. And anybody else who's watching, anybody from Santa Fe that's watching, I'm glad you tuned in, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see everybody soon. Thanks.